Howdy everyone, Pete Daddy here, and today I wanted to share with you guys my favorite formations and custom tactics to use in FIFA right now. We're in a little bit of a weird meta at the moment. You can't really play the most attractive football to grind out wins, but let me just show you. Let's just get right into it. Let me show you the team. We've got basically a brand new team for Weekend League. I'm really excited to play with this team. It's a little bit different. It doesn't have like a ton of meta players. I've got some different ones I wanted to try out, but I think this will be a lot of fun to do. We've got the ShapeShifters, Dries Mertens, who's been an absolute monster. Headliners, Nainggolan. This is just team of the group stage, I believe. Lautaro Martinez, ShapeShifters, Henrikh Mkhitaryan, Politano, milestone card, SEN from Icon Swaps, Florenzi winner refresh card, Kondogbia Shapeshifters, Ramos team of the week. I think this was his second informer, I want to say. I believe it was his second. Maybe it was his first. I don't remember for sure. But anyways, we got him in our red player picks a couple weeks ago. Regular old Ferland Mendy at left back, and Ter Stegen, who for me is still the best goalkeeper in the game. I experimented with some other goalkeepers last week because I'm trying to change my teams around, trying to keep it fun, keep it fresh. But I had to go back to Ter Stegen. But it was kind of fun in a way because that allowed me to bring Kondogbia and Florenzi into the team, and they're a lot of fun to play with as well. So right now it's about having as much fun as you can, but still winning is fun. So you want to try to grind out some wins. But like I said, you can't really play the most attractive football. You're kind of in an absorb, and counter type of meta right now. And I feel like if you don't play what everyone else is playing in a way, I mean, we don't have to go to that extreme where we're playing one depth drop back, which is not a lot of fun to go up against. I understand that. And, I hate to be part of the problem in a way because our tactics are going to be drop back, but I feel like I play it a little bit differently. I'm not saying I'm better or worse or anyone else, but, I do try to be aggressive defensively. But let me just show you my favorite tactic. I've tried to go away from this formation multiple times. I've tried other things a lot, but still, I think the best formation in FIFA right now is still the 4-2-3-1. And the way I play it with a drop back. I play 4 width and 3 depth. So I don't go all the way back, but I do think you need to drop back a little bit because everybody is playing that like 1 depth or 2 depth, and they're just trying to counter you. And it's so easy, and that's one of the most effective things to do in FIFA is to counter someone. So if you're caught out with that, then you're going to give up a cheap goal. You've probably had like 60, 65% possession. You're just trying to hammer into their wall, hammer into their wall, hammer into their wall, and then all of a sudden they get possession and they get a cheap goal on you, and you're down a goal, and then you're just back. You're having to fight into that wall again. Now you need to score twice. So I feel like that 3 depth allows your players to stay back far enough that you can still control someone to stop their counterattack. So that's why I like the 3 depth. The other thing I do personally, and I've mentioned this before, I'm fairly aggressive defensively, so I like drop back even when we're not necessarily in that full drop back meta. And what it allows me to do is to go a little crazy with the center back, go a little crazy with the CDM, go out and try to make that tackle. Then I know some other people are already back that I can switch to bail me out. So if I go out with my center back and I'm like attacking and trying to get that tackle, and I miss, I feel like if I'm not on drop back, I don't have someone else that I can switch to. Now, if you're someone that maybe doesn't play quite as aggressively, that maybe absorbs a little bit more, you can play balance, and I've experimented with balance. I just feel like for me, I like to drop back because that allows me to be aggressive, but then I can switch to someone else to try to bail me out when I do miss that tackle. And of course, you are going to miss the tackles, but sometimes you just got to be a little bit aggressive. So that works out pretty well. But again, also though, the biggest reason to have it right now is to prevent people from just beating you on that quick and easy counter, getting the ball back and just sailing right by you, getting that quick, cheap goal, and then you're down and you're trying to hit their wall. So I feel like this is pretty important right now. I've experimented with some other depths. I've even tried up to like an 8 doing some things. And if I'm trailing in a match, I will come and up this up to like 8, 9, or 10 even, because that can really affect a player. If you're going up against a player that's really not that strong of a player, this can really mess with them. If you come out here and pick your depth up to like 8, 9, or 10, then they're trying to get around you and you're like right on them. Now, it doesn't work. If you're going up against someone who's a pretty strong player, can control the ball, this just becomes a desperation move. But if you're going up against someone who you are a better player than, then this will usually get you the ball quick, get you a quick goal, and be able to take back control of the game. But for most purposes, I play it on 3. I've been playing for a couple weeks fast build up because I want my players to move. I feel like if you're just on balance, they're not moving enough, and you end up just in that whole wall situation. Plus, like I said, we're trying to take advantage of it ourselves. Countering is so important. When you get that ball back, if you're playing against someone that's got that one depth drop back, overload ball sign stuff, you've got to take advantage of your opportunity. So if you get the ball back, you need to be hitting boom, 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 and try to get around them, get your goal yourself, maybe try to open them up a little bit. So I do think fast build up works really, really well. I like playing that a lot. It's also, I think if you're a good passer of the ball, it's a good formation to play or good tactic to use because you're able to pick out some passes. You've got more people making runs. You've got people moving, doing things. So if you're a good passer of the ball, I think fast build up works well. For width, I like 4. I don't want my right cam and left cam to get too far out. I want them to be wide enough that I can make passes up the wing, but don't want them to be so wide that when we're in the box that I can't pass through them and rely on them for a few goals. Players in box, I like 3. I feel like if you have this set too high, then you're ending up playing into the hands of the people that are playing the one depth, because then all your players are just kind of like in the box and you don't have anywhere to go, anywhere to pass. When you have it on 3, it feels like more of the players are kind of like outside the box a little bit. So you can kind of work it around a little bit more and try to find your opportunity when you're just, like I said, there are some games where you're just trying to smash into a wall and smash into a wall. So you just kind of have to make that pass, pick out your one moment or opportunity. But if everyone's in the box, they're just become part of that crowd in there, and it makes it to where it doesn't work for you. Corners and free kicks, I just set this on 2. You can make this 1 even. Usually on corners, I just play them short. Free kicks, if I'm going to take a free kick, I'm probably just going to try to put it on net or maybe try another set play where it's not really going to matter how many people I have in the box. But again, countering is so effective in FIFA, you don't want to be countered on these and give up a cheap goal. So as far as where I'm playing everybody and what I usually look for, this one's going to be a little bit different. I'm trying something slightly different this weekend league. I guess I'll highlight that first and foremost as far as what I'm looking for here. I did have last weekend league Daniel James playing wide, playing as like a right cam or right wing, right mid, whatever formation I was using. I wanted him to just take advantage of his pace. But it seemed I was finding, I mean, it's been like this for a couple weeks since the last patch. Pace is not as important as it was. And it seemed like I found myself more in positions where I wanted someone that could do more on the ball than just pace. And not that Daniel James is a poor player, I like playing with him. But Mkhitaryan is going to give me some nice shooting, some nice passing, some nice dribbling, give me a lot of different things I can do with him. Because what I'm saying is I find myself more in those positions where I'm in the final third passing around instead of just trying to get that long through ball through to somebody, if that makes sense. So I'd say it's more like 80% of the time I'm in that final third trying to do something. So I'd rather have someone with like 70 pace that can do a lot of stuff than someone with 99 pace, where that 99 pace isn't going to matter when you're in that final third and you're going up against 9 guys in the box basically. So I'm trying this out. Now this team, I've had a lot of success with them in Rivals. I've been playing with them a lot. I had to drop a division to get 87 Politano, and then to get to 89 Politano, I came right back up with like no problem. Won like all my games. This team has played really, really strong. I like this team a lot. But this Mkhitaryan, again, I'm sacrificing pace. Normally, what I would have done a couple weeks ago, I would have put Mkhitaryan, I would have given a hunter to Mkhitaryan and made his pace like 98, 98. This time, whatever it was, it would make his pace somewhere in the high 90s. But what I'm doing this week, I think I have a sniper on Mkhitaryan or maybe a Deadeye. It's one of those. I'll have to double check in a minute. But the point is, I did not boost his pace. And what I'm thinking again is that when you're in that final third, you just want players that can shoot and pass and dribble, and the pace may not be quite as important. Now, pace is always important. It's not like he's slow. He's upper 80s with his base pace. But what I'm saying, I'm not boosting him to those high 90s because I'm going to try to use him, and he's been really effective in that position. And then we've got Dries Mertens in the middle. In the middle, you want someone very agile, someone that can score the ball, someone that can pass the ball. And Dries Mertens has been one of my favorite players to play with all year. And this left wing, Dries Mertens, I did a video about him yesterday. I highly recommend him. It's one of the cheapest special cards that Mertens has, and you can do a lot with him. He's just a monster with the ball, can score from about anywhere. And well, also Lautaro, he's been one of my favorite strikers to play with all year. We had him in our first Christmas to Glory Weekend League, and now that was his 86. Now he's an 87 after winter refresh, and he's just a monster at burying the ball. This Politano 89, I'm still undecided about. I just got him within the last week or two. I know a lot of you have played with the 87 Politano almost all year. I did not get him on my main account or on this account, so he's kind of new for me. I like him. I'm not saying I love him yet, but he's solid. And from your left and right cam position, they're not going to be scoring a ton of goals. It's almost more of a support position. Most of your goals are going to come from Lautaro and Dries Mertens, or your striker and your center cam. But you're going to get some assists. You will get some goals with them, but they're more like support than they are just goal scorers. The Politano I've liked. I don't know that I love him yet, but we'll see after Weekend League. SEN has been a monster for me. He's my more defensive mid. So I feel like as far as players you need, for your midfielders, you want a really defensive mid, and you want a box-to-box mid. So this Nangolan here, I think, is a monster box-to-box midfielder. And then for fullback, you do need pacey fullbacks, because you are going to have people coming at you with all sorts of counters. So one thing you can do to counter that is have a fast back line. Now this is an area where I think pace does matter. I'm saying that for this Weekend League, I'm going to use Mkhitaryan instead of like a Daniel James with a high 80 pace instead of a high 90 pace. But for your back line, I think you need as much pace as possible, because you need those. If you do get beat, if you do get countered, you need someone that can kind of chase them down. If you have someone that's pretty quick, then they can chase them down and they can do some stuff. So that's what I'm looking for these types of players. Like I think Ferland Mendy, I put a shadow on him. It does waste like maybe 2 pace points, but I think he gets 99 acceleration, 98 sprint speed, something like that. And Florenzi's like 96, 96. We'll double check that. And Kondogbia and Ramos, they're not, I think they get close to the 90s for pace, but we'll take a look at that in just a minute. The center backs is not quite as important, because they're going to hang back a little bit, but your fullbacks need to be able to catch those wingers. So pace is very important on your back line, so keep an eye on that. As far as instructions go in the 4-2-3-1, I put Lautaro. The only thing I change on the striker, I make it conservative interceptions. I don't want him to wear himself out trying to make interceptions up top. Usually, if I give up possession, I'm going to be controlling Lautaro and not the AI if I'm trying to like press back immediately. But I don't want him just to waste any energy trying to make any interceptions. So I'd rather him have high stamina for attacking than that unlikely chance that the AI makes a steal for me. So I leave that alone. For my central cam, I do make it free roam, and Mertens does not have high stamina, so I make him conservative interceptions. I have it on basic defense support. I do think it's important if you play a balanced defense, and you probably want to change your left cam and your right cam to come back on defense, because you do need that defensive support from your cams. So I do think that would be important. When I'm playing drop back, I don't think you have to do that. I think that's that almost brings them too far back, and then they don't really get involved in the attack as much. So you can see here, there's not a lot going on here as well. Conservative interceptions, and just basic. The only thing I've changed, my central cam's on free roam. I want him to have the ability to go anywhere on the pitch, basically. So whatever he feels like he needs to do. And if Mertens, I think, has 99 attack positioning. So I'm going to trust that the AI will put him in a good position when I need to make a pass and have him ready to go. Now we get into some other things here. For SEN, I've got him stay back while attacking and cover center, and then balance to normal. Now here's where I have one that's maybe slightly different than other ones, and you may have to look at your work rates of your player, but I have Nangolan on get forward. And what I think works really well, if you have a player, now I do think it's very important here, you need a player with a high defensive work rate, because I want him to get forward, but I also want him to use that drop back tactic that we have, and also hustle his butt back to get back on defense. So I want him to get forward, really support the attack. I think that helps out so much, especially when we're going up against these people playing one depth drop back with overload ball side. Having that extra support from someone like Nangolan just helps open up everything, gives you an extra outlet, gives you someone else that can bury the ball. But when they have that high defensive work rate, they're going to trail back, because we have drop back. So they're going to be also dropping back as quick as possible when we lose possession. So I think get forward, get him up there, and then he's going to get back. So I think someone like Nangolan is amazing for that. But again, I think it's important. I tried this with Awar a little bit, and I don't think he worked as well with that. And I'm pretty sure I'll have to double check just to make sure. But I'm pretty sure Awar has medium defensive work rate, and it didn't seem like he got back as much for me as Nainggolan does, or someone who has a high defensive work rate. And for my back line, all of them are just stay back while attacking. So I think that is all very important. But let me double check that, just make sure that I'm not giving you bad information. I'm pretty sure I've already checked it out and tested it out a lot. I just want to make sure. So Nainggolan, you see there, high. So he's going to really get forward and he's really going to get back. So he's worked out really well. He's got 93 stamina. I really like this card. I think he is a monster. And you can also see here, someone like this that I'm going to use for my attacking mid. I've given him a boost to his attacking stat. So he's got an engine instead of something like an anchor or a shadow. If you were going to use them for defense, then you may want to put an anchor or a shadow on someone like this. But for, I wanted to boost his passing and his agility and all of that stuff. And he has pretty good shooting stats. So when he gets forward, I'm not necessarily going to call him to shoot as much. He has buried a few goals, but I'm going to count on him more for passing and dribbling and being able to facilitate the attack a little bit. So I like that a lot. And let me double check someone like Awar real quick, because that's the other one I really tested there. The other one I've tested there is Frenkie de Jong, who I think does really well in that role as well. And Frenkie de Jong has medium high, so he's maybe not pushing forward quite as much, but he is trailing back. So like Frenkie de Jong, I've liked in that role. And see there, he's medium high, medium attack. So he does, with the get forward instruction, will get forward. But with the high defensive work rate, he does track back. So let me double check Awar. And I've loved this Awar card, but he's just not fitting into my team right now the way I'd want him to. Yeah, so I was pretty sure. I just wanted to double check that I didn't give you bad information. But Awar, you see there, high attacking work rate, medium defensive work rate. So Awar will get forward, and he's awesome. He feels great on the ball. He dribbles really well. I've loved playing with Awar, but he just doesn't offer quite as much defensively. But he doesn't have enough offensive characteristics, offensive stats. I guess that's probably the word I was looking for. He doesn't have enough offensive stats to be a CAM. So, but he needs to be a CM, a more defensive-minded CM, but he's not fitting into my team right now for getting forward and getting back, because I don't think with that medium defensive work rate, I don't think he's getting back as much as he should be. Now, let me show you a couple other formations that I'm liking and when I use them. We'll just go through those pretty quick. I pretty much stay with 4-2-3-1 most of the time unless I need to do something else. 4-4-2 is still a good formation. I don't have any problems with 4-4-2. I know a lot of people are loving it. I'm finding it. I think that works well with for beating overload ball side. But I don't know if it works as well for hitting against these guys that are playing one depth drop back. I think it does help you get around overload ball side a lot, but I just like I just said, I'm having trouble beating the one depth people with 4-4-2. It just seems like I'm getting a little too wide or something like that, a little too far spread out to really facilitate the attack. But as far as 4-4-2, I played this one balanced. And this may be one I switch to if I just want to change up the game a little bit. I want something different. The 4-2-3-1's not working. I'm not feeling good on the ball. 4-4-2 is a very good change up for that. It's very different. You're getting really wide. You're still having the two mids, but then you're also having two strikers. So it does give you some different options. So I do like changing to this when you do need something different. Something's not working. And again, having a balanced defensive style changes things around completely. Having balanced offensive style. Now, this is one where if you're on fast build-up in the 4-4-2, I think people get too far away from you. So I don't like fast build-up as much on the 4-4-2. So you're already like really wide. And so then when you're on fast build-up, it makes it even harder to pass to people. So this is the way I play 4-4-2 as far as instructions go. I've liked this a good bit, actually. I've got one striker on stay forward, and I have one striker on come back on defense. Then I have one midfielder on stay back while attacking, and I have one midfielder on get forward. So I've got that opposite, if you see there. So I have one striker come back, and he's going to help facilitate the defense, but then I have one of my CMs to get forward. So it almost gives you like an extra cam in a way. It makes it like really attacking. You do have to be careful. You can easily be exposed in this. So you need your other guys. You need your left mid and right mid on come back on defense. And I like them on getting behind. I want them to come back, and then I want them to make runs up the wing. So there, for this one, I think it is more important if you're going to play this. I don't know that Mkhitaryan would fit as nicely in this position than he would as a right cam, because this one you do need that pace to kind of get up and down the wing. And then back line, same thing, stay back while attacking. So I do like 4-4-2. I just don't like it quite as much as 4-2-3-1. And then for when I'm trailing in a match, I've loved this formation. I played with this in drafts a lot, had a lot of success with it. This 4-3-1-2, it just makes you this really compact, just sends a lot of people forward. The way I like to play it, I open my width up on offense to 7. I don't want them quite that narrow. I need them to get a little bit wider to give me a little bit of passing lanes, but it just brings a lot of people forward. I do play it on drop back because you have CMs. I think everybody has a CM in the middle there, so they're already pretty far forward. So I think you need drop back to make sure they do come back. But with on defense, I play 4 because I want to suffocate people in the middle and then kind of spring back out a little bit wide. And my depth is 3 on that one. And fast build up, again, 7 width, 3 players in the box. Instructions, I've got my top 2 just on completely balanced. I want them doing a lot of different things. My cam is on free roam. My CMs, all of them are on cover center. And balance is that the one in the middle that's going to be your more defending one, have him on stay back while attacking. And then the other one that I've liked a lot, I haven't played as much lately. I just kind of seemed like this one fell off a little bit. Is playing the 4-2-2. I think it plays really well, but it hasn't. It's kind of dropped off in the last couple weeks. It wasn't playing as well for me. People were just kind of getting a little too far away from me, I guess, is what was happening. Right now I'm preferring 4-4-2 over 4-2-2. If you want the more defensive minded 4-4-2 or playing something like this, I'd recommend just playing this 4-4-2 second variation where you still have your CDMs, but it seems like your width is just a little bit better, and your left mid and right mid get a little more involved than they do in this formation. So it was working really well for me, and I don't know if it was a patch or just something. Maybe it's where people changed to the overload ball side. It wasn't working as well against that. Maybe that's what it is. It just seemed like it stopped working as much. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to share with you the formations I'm using, the tactics I'm using that I'm having success with. I do think, we are having to play a little bit more negative football, but I've enjoyed playing the 4-2-3-1. And I think with that get forward on one of the CDMs, just show you that again. It's still, for me, I feel like it's playing fairly wide open. Like I'm getting a lot of attacks. I've scored quite a few goals with it. I'm still conceding goals. So you're maybe not quite as defensive if you were going to, if you really wanted to be defensive, you could change this guy to stay back while attacking. And, maybe I should come up with a variation of this to like see out games, because sometimes you'll be up a goal late and give up something. You'll be up a goal and then you give up a goal late, and so maybe I need to make a more defensive version of this, but I'm having fun attacking with this. It gives you a lot of different variety. You can do build-up play, you can possess the ball, you can counterattack, you can do a lot of different things. So I've tried to go away from it a lot, but I seem to always come back to this 4-2-3-1, and I think it's the best formation you can play with right now in the current meta. But anyways, guys, if you liked the video, give me a big thumbs up. Please make sure to follow me on Twitter, subscribe, follow me everywhere, but I'll see you guys soon. Bye.